What's up, guys? After a long hiatus, we are back on Twitch for a little bit. Gonna make some deep runs tonight. Thank you for joining us. How's everybody doing? I hope that your holidays are going well. Let's start this off with a raise. 60, we go. So how's everybody doing? Welcome to the stream, the Dutch Boyd Poker Show, episode 104, I believe. Yeah, let's go ahead and make the call here. We're getting 3-1. Long implied odds. That's a pretty good flop for Queen 10. What do we think J Love 69 is going to do? Can we count on a C-bet? Yeah, I think that we can. So J Love checking back. And I'm thinking that probably means that he's got ace king and our queen 10 is the best hand here. So how about a 475 raise? There we go.
What I got for the baby?
Ugh. Ace is no good. It's not what we wanted to see, you guys. That's pretty cute. Okay, let's just check back. I don't think that we're going to get
So dark.
called with worse. 7-6. Yeah, we can beat 7 high. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Great to see y'all. I already won. Get you all in. Both of you guys are the first in the chat. So, played a little bit of Venetian. Played a little bit of Bellagio. And, what's up, Ronsonelli? On the TV. Made day 3 of the Bellagio main. Not too shabby. Venetian main. Didn't really do that well in it. But, you know what? It's alright. It's alright. There's always another tournament. The next one I'm probably going to be playing is LAPC, the WPT main there. So, yeah, I haven't been streaming that much this last month. Why is that? Mr. Gambler 99. You say that every time. It's like, I'm on TV. I saw you saying that at Flip AAAA stream the other night. Yeah, I watched Twitch too. So I haven't been doing too much streaming this last month. I'll stream a little bit more, but I'm going to be scaling back quite a bit in this next in these next few months, you guys. You know, we did 104 streams this year, which wasn't so bad. You know, it was a little bit less than my goal, and I'll probably do a couple more before the end of the year. So, and that's not counting any of like the Hearthstone streams, the Rust streams. So, all in all, I'm going to say about 130 streams. Bad player making the raise. You know what? I think that we can go ahead and save the 1100 here. I don't really feel like popping in 1100 on a set mine. So, we'll say an average of 4 hours per stream. So we're looking at about 500 hours. And, you know, every single time one of you guys subs or donates, every single time, I stress how much I appreciate it, and I really do appreciate all of you guys. And I say over and over, if it wasn't for you guys, this stream wouldn't be possible. And that's truer than than maybe I really thought it was, because the more I think about it, the more I kind of thought about Twitch in the wrong way. You know, I've been kind of doing some reflecting over the last few weeks and few months, really, but definitely like the last month when I haven't really been streaming, and kind of thinking about where it's headed. And I think a lot of Twitch streamers, I actually watched a Doug Polk video where he kind of spelled this out, and it really hit home. I think a lot of Twitch streamers kind of see their time here on Twitch the same way that they see like a poker graph. So followers are going to continue to rise up and to the right, subscribers up and to the right, ad revenue up and to the right, just like a poker graph would be. Just like you kind of treat subscribers and ad revenue like you would a bankroll. And I think that's the wrong expectation to have going into Twitch. Watching one of Doug Polk's videos kind of talk about this really was illuminating, because I think it's a lot more like throwing a baseball, where you're going to see some pretty good growth, and then it's going to kind of level off, and eventually it's going to start dying off as your content kind of starts getting stale. And when I think about what we've been doing on Twitch for the last 6-9 months, we're pretty much just playing the same 5 or 6 tournaments. We've won them all. We've bubbled them all. We've had pretty much every bad beat you can think of on this stream, and there's really not too much more to do. And so, when I start looking at it at kind of like an hourly rate, thinking, okay, well, every single time I'm doing a stream, there is an opportunity cost. I say it all the time when I'm like, thank you guys for supporting the stream. If it weren't for you subs, I'd have to be grinding on the strip. Well, I think it's kind of at that time where the sub count really just isn't going where it needs to go for me to take on Twitch as like a full-time gig. So I'm going to be doing Twitch very much part-time, and really scaling back the amount of hours I put on Twitch coming up in 2017. I've got some other projects and some plans in the works, which I'll talk about later. But for now, I'm thinking that I'm probably going to be shooting for maybe like 40 or 50 streams next year. Maybe once a week, maybe. And as long as the subs are still kind of in there, I'll definitely be stopping in every once in a while. But I think I think it's time to go ahead and shelve the idea of trying to do Twitch full time. So, with that being said, I think it's I'm looking forward to this upcoming year. I feel like I ran into a lot of walls this year trying to do different things. Going up to Canada was also pretty illuminating. I kind of thought that, well, if we try doing different tournaments on a different platform, maybe that will make a big difference. Turns out it didn't. It turns out there's some pretty. I've learned a lot about the platform in the last year. So hey, anyway, guys, I just want to let you know I really appreciate all of you guys, and I don't mean to let any of you guys down, but yeah, going to be doing a lot less streaming in 2017. Hey, big shout out to all of the people who are keeping their subs going though. We got Aces up 17 months in a row. Get this celebration out of the way early. Really appreciate that, man. We've got C Corbo, Mr. Hope, everything as well. Everything is good, man. Everything is good. Life is good. We've got Gildox just threw that Twitch Prime sub my way. Thank you very much, Gildox. Really do appreciate it. And we got Nino T. Hey, Dutch. Hey, is Examois? Examois not with us tonight. She's here. She was doing a little bit of shopping when we started the stream, and she just got back. Well, Crypt. This isn't the worst. This really isn't the worst flop for A6. I mean, we're ahead of a lot of hands, which I think that maybe he 3-bets. Ace King, Ace Jack. We also have some outs. And now he's firing at a full pot size bet, and I'm thinking we're gonna give up. You got it, buddy. You got it. Nice hand, Crypt. So we had fewer outs than we thought. A little 2-outer going. C Manx, good to see you, man. He says, you're back. Why so much time off? Just kind of talked about that. Rick the Hack, good to see you. What's up, Dutch? Great to see you back online. We got Coonsy, 21 months in a row. Thank you very much, man, for being sub since the beginning, supporting the stream, keeping it alive as long as it's been alive. Really appreciate you being here, man. Let's go for a little raise here against Your Dumb 57. We got Crypt making the call. Poker Fun says not coming to Durant, Oklahoma. Is that what you're talking about? Durant's in Oklahoma, right? Durant. Yeah. No. No. That's not in the plans there, Poker Fun. I think that I will leave those Oklahoma games to you, buddy. Shorty Lambert, good to see you in the stream. We got Sooner Chris. He says, hey, long time no see. What's up, man? Good to see you, Sooner Chris. And hey, thanks for the 20-month sub. Appreciate it. We've got JSA714 chilling out. Good to see you, man. Let's go for a C bet here. I think we can get Crypt and Your Dumb off of a lot of hands. We don't really have any outs here. So, well, now we've got some outs. How about a half pot bet into Your Dumb? And we will hopefully just take it right here. If he calls, we've got that's our gin card. We'll get the rest of it in. Running good. Running good. And Your Dumb is like, what could I possibly have? What could I possibly have? How can I have hearts there? I did have hearts. Nice fold, Your Dumb. Nice fold. What's up, Lolak? Good to see you, buddy. You know what that reminds me of, Lolak? That reminds me of Open Season 2. When you say, it's been ages. What's up, Pippin? Good to see that you're alive, too. We got Dog Mile. Great to see you, man. So, Dog Mile, how did that event go? Went all right. You know, the event, I feel like, was pretty successful. It was, it had, I think, somewhere around 200 entrants. Alex Zifkin ended up winning it. He's a bracelet winner and a Chicago pro. I didn't cash. So for me personally, it wasn't that great, but it was a good start to the tour. You know, I definitely feel like they're going to continue the tour. You know, it wasn't like that running aces event that I went to I guess about a year ago, where the Czech Shove Poker Tour, where it was just like a one event, and it was such a disaster that they just stopped. So it wasn't like that. I don't really think it was the blowout success that they had hoped. I mean, pie in the sky numbers, they were kind of hoping there'd be like 500 people there. It was over 200, which I'll tell you, getting 200 people down to the Majestic Star in Gary, Indiana. I don't want to knock any of those casinos, but I mean, I feel like that was a success. I feel like it was a success, and definitely wasn't. Definitely wasn't like the moonshot for the tour, but good enough that they're going to keep on doing them. Thank you, appreciate that. Thanks, honey. Edswood, how you doing, man? He says, it's been a fun ride. Don't forget about us entirely. Make sure you still stream the World Series Online Bracelet, and I will stay subbed. Edswood, you know what? I am going to plan on doing that. And I'm not going to just stop streaming altogether. It's just going to definitely be scaling back. We put in a lot of hours this year, a lot of streams this year. And honestly, when I do the math and I look at I look at it, from like a job point of view, like a career point of view, the numbers just aren't there. So going to be doing it a lot less, but I'm still going to be doing it. I'm keeping my XSplit subscription up, but this is what I would say, you guys. If you enjoy watching streamers, right? I've been watching a couple of the other streams, and there's some good ones. If you enjoy watching them and they mean something to you, support those streamers. Because if you don't, they're not going to be able to continue doing it. There's just a huge opportunity cost when you're streaming on Twitch, and unless you have some sort of sponsorship deal or some sort of site that you're promoting. I mean, pretty much all of these guys that I've been watching are trying to push traffic somewhere, and like the affiliate deals that I see, I'm sure aren't really converting for these guys. So if you're enjoying these streamers, make sure to support and make sure to sub. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to continue going. Vice Chick, great to see you here in the stream. She says, I'll miss the full-time Dutch, but look forward to whatever you do stream, whenever you do stream. Thank you, Vice Chick. I appreciate that. I like that cheer, those cheer bits. Those are pretty cool. I like the cheer 100 badge right next to you, Vice Chick. Thank you very much. Cold Deck, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate that. So JSA 714, any movies that I'd recommend? So far, my favorite movies this year have been The Accountant and The Nice Guys. Those are my two favorites. Let's go ahead and make a 3-bet here. How about up to 400 sounds right. Poker Pete, great to see you, man. He says, howdy, I can't hang out very long tonight, but it's good to see you. Good to see you too, buddy. Dog Mile says, Gary, Indiana is a tough draw. Not exactly a destination city. Well, bad player. Hopefully that missed you too. I'm kind of thinking that it's a pretty decent chance that our ace queen is still ahead. I mean, If you started with some sort of pocket pair bad player, then we probably have 9 outs. An 8 is probably an out against bad players pair. If he doesn't have a pair, we're ahead. So, and Poker Fun, no, I didn't get hit in the head. I did actually when we got to Gary, Indiana, right? I took an Uber down to the grocery store, asked for a. I was going to be there a few days, so I got I got some groceries because it turns out that the hotel doesn't actually have any sort of like room service or kitchen. The casino has like a deli, which was not the best. So I just went out and got some sandwich fixings and some cereal and stuff like that. And as I'm walking in, there was a guy on the cell phone who tried to hit me up for money. Looked at me and said, "Hey, listen, man." He was like on the cell phone. He's like, "Oh, hold on. Yo, can you give me some money for some baby formula for my baby?" And it's like late at night, I'm feeling kind of sketchy as it is, and I'm like, "Where's this guy's baby? Where's this guy's baby? He's got to go feed his baby, man. He shouldn't be out just walking the roads." It's sketchy. It's a little sketchy. Joe Cata got his car stolen right from the parking lot. I don't exactly know whether he valeted or just parked, but he drove out. He drove to the event, and he was there for like a half hour. He rushed in to register or something, and then his car's gone. It's crazy. You know what? It's going to be kind of hard for me to actually represent anything here. I'm going to go ahead and give the free card, and we'll do a little delayed C-bet. Still waiting, German. Still waiting. Okay, guys, we're on a break. All I do is win. Asks, why don't you play on ACR Dutch? Well, because it's illegal. And we've got wsop.com. We've got options to stream. Playing on America's Card Room from Nevada is illegal. They shouldn't really be taking our action. It might actually even be, I'm pretty sure it's actually even against the terms of service of America's Card Room. I'm pretty sure that there's certain states that America's Card Room won't take action from. Washington, Nevada. Okay, guys, we're on break. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back. We are back. We got some. We got a big hand here. Ace Queen offsuit. So we're gonna go ahead and make the raise. By the way, good to see you, Maverick. Definitely thoughts are with you. Maverick had a little bit of a family tragedy recently. I hope you don't mind me. I hope you don't mind me saying Maverick, but his stepdad passed away, and so he's not in Vegas right now. He went back home to be with his family. I was really sorry to hear that. Our thoughts are with you, buddy. And Polarize also talking about a little personal tragedy, not life and death, but certainly a scare. Someone broke into his house while they were there, while they were sleeping with their baby, Darwin, which is still one of the best baby names that I've ever heard. And man, I just feel like that sucks, man. You know, like I can't imagine how that would make me feel. I mean, it's insecure and violated. I'm really sorry that happened to you too. I wonder if we could get fast donut off of an ace king. Wow. So Sean, good to see you since the beginning. Great to see you here, man. And you know what, Polarize? I think that's a good move. Getting a German Shepherd to bite the balls off of anyone else who wants to come in. I think that's a good move. I definitely feel like most home invasions are going to be, opportunistic thieves looking for low-hanging fruit. So, from how you described it, you left the garage door open. So that's pretty low-hanging fruit, right? It's like, oh, okay, let's go in. A dog, it doesn't even have to be a big dog. Just any dog that's going to be basically an alarm system for your house is going to curb a lot of home invasions. I think. Hey, Ross the Boss, good to see you, man. ZSTF Unreal saying it's not not a joke. They actually use infant formula to cut cocaine and heroin. Crazy. I never would have known it. Bob Hatter in the stream. Great to see you, Bob. Big shout out. Says, where's my sub? I don't know. You know what? I think I might not have put him up. I'm sorry. ZASTF Unreal says, I thought it was common knowledge. I thought everybody knew that. No, I didn't know. First time I'm hearing it. First time. Polarized. Oh, burn. Sick burn. Jeff Jim, good to see you, man. We got 9 dues for the win. Great to see you guys. All right. Wow, look at that. We're doing actually pretty good in this. 6 out of 83. Look at you, Bob Hatter. 21 months in a row. Really appreciate that, man. All right, making the fold with King 6 offsuit. You know what, guys? I'm gonna hop into the 30. It'll be a long stream tonight. We'll make it deep in one of these. Jeff Jim was pocket typing in chat. Demand wins. Thank you very much for being here. Says glad to see you back streaming, Dutch. Good luck, good luck, good luck. Good to see you here. Demand wins. Thank you very much for the resub. Jean Paul the Great, thank you very much. Says welcome back. You were thoroughly missed. Good luck with the grind. Thanks for the good luck wish. It's good to be missed, man. It's good to be missed. C-Mac, it's great to see you. So C-Mac says, talking about Johnny Hughes. So you guys, if any of you guys have read my book, you definitely know I had some high opinions of Johnny Hughes. He was a Texas road gambler. He really spent most of his full-time days back in the late 60s, early 70s, over at the Golden Nugget, propping the Raz game for Bill Boyd. That kind of got old for him, and he went back to Texas, got his PhD, spent most of his life in education and music production, but he always, he always came back to poker. He'd always he'd hit up the World Series and mainly playing cash games. Johnny Hughes wasn't really one for tournaments. I remember several times he would kind of just pass by any sort of tournament registration, saying and focus on cash games. He really felt like tournaments were a lottery ticket, and the real money was in cash games. And I think he's right about that. For the most part. I mean, there's money to be made in tournaments, but for the most part, I think that most of the money being made in poker is being made by cash game players. So I think he was right about that. It wasn't always the case. It used to be that there was a lot more money in like sponsorship deals and more of a back end with tournaments, but you don't really see that anymore. I think those days are kind of gone. Maybe they'll come back down the road, but they're kind of gone now. Little ace king offsuit action looks pretty good. The Mouse Beast, good to see you. Says nice to see you back, Dutch. Hope you guys are well. I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Let's go ahead and make this 3. We'll say about 430. Little 3x. And Bob Hatter, I am actually wearing a black shirt. I probably could pull that off if I just but it just took the sweater off. That's pretty funny. And Xmoa is doing great. She's wrapping some presents right now. ASAP says, tell X that we got good use of the wolf hat this weekend up in the snow. Jack's ears were nice and warm. My dumb star, forgot to get a photo of it for you. I'm sure there'll be plenty more photo ops. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear you got some use out of that hat, man. And Broncos getting in there with a queen 8 and just smashing the flop. To be fair, he's not that big of a dog, but how did that money just go in? Like, Blind versus blind. What was that? Choo Choo makes the raise and Broncos just shoves? Is that what just happened? Or did we just see something else go down here? So, oh, no. Broncos went ahead and called. He made the call for all of his chips. Don't really understand that one. It's good enough for the bony fish. Jonathan Love, 412, good to see you. And yeah, Jonathan, I am planning on playing quite a bit of live poker. Doing a lot of cash game grinding next year. Scaling back on the live streams and doing a lot more actual strip grinding. But I will still hop on Twitch a couple times, like a few times a month, and say hi to everybody. Do a couple of tournament runs, maybe a couple of Sundays, maybe a couple Sundays a month. We'll see. I'll just kind of play it by ear. Garbage all the time. Good to see you, man. And hey, Jean-Paul the Great, thank you very much for the compliment about the book. Really appreciate that. You know what? That's another thing that we're probably gonna be stopping at the end of the year is giving out those free books to subs. So, but for now, we're still doing it. So we'll still be giving away fist bump patches and the books to subs until New Year's. I'll tell you though, grind to win. There are definitely some tournament series where the hourly rate is there. I definitely feel like the World Series of Poker is kind of a special 5 weeks out of the year where, if you string together a decade's worth of series events and you can sustain an ROI, somewhere in the mid double digits. I mean, if you're an awesome player and not getting super unlucky, I think that you can do triple digits. I think a lot of players have a triple digit ROI in the WSOP. If I look at my own spreadsheet, even taking off the top couple of scores, I'm still I'm still at a pretty comfortable ROI, and I'm looking at about 150%. And I think that if you look at that 5-6 weeks of events and kind of chop it up into an hourly rate, then it's there. It's good. If you get an we'll say on average 8 hours per event, and an ABI average buy-in of we'll say 2,000. If you have a 50% ROI, you're looking at an hourly rate somewhere around $150-$200. So it's there. Definitely better than grinding like a 2-5 or 5-10 no limit. And if you just focus on like the 5Ks and 10Ks, then it's probably even better than grinding like 25-50 or the mixed games around. Papist. Great to see you, Papist. So Be Wild Poker, probably mostly 2-5, and also dipping into that 5-10 no limit. There's a few of those around town. If the game looks awfully juicy, I'll probably also try to get into some mixed games. And maybe occasionally taking shots in the 25-50 no limit. That's the plan. You know, I was watching some of the action at the Bellagio during the 5 Diamond, and there's definitely a lot of money being thrown around. Yeah, let's go ahead and make the call here. We'll give it a shot. Everybody's in. We're closing the action, getting, 17 to 1? So any 2 cards will do it. Fire Rain 2016, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub. Really appreciate that, man. Got a hack a hand, Joe and Hannah. How you two doing? Greetings from Omaha. We both have interviews for new jobs tomorrow. Good luck. Good luck, you two. I hope that I hope that you nail it. Torona Cara asking, what are your favorite casinos to play at in Vegas? Yeah, I really do like Caesars. The Wynn/Encore poker room is really nice. Bellagio and Aria, and that's about it. You know, there's occasionally some good games over at Planet Hollywood. There's occasionally some good games over at MGM. Orleans usually has the '08 action. Venetian, but my favorite casinos to play at: the Wynn, the Aria, Bellagio, and Caesars. I'm going to actually make the fold here with the Ace Jack offsuit. I just think that way too often we're up against it, against a bigger ace. APZWE. First off, you can only legally play online poker if you are in Nevada, Delaware, or New Jersey. And even though there's a lot of other places that'll take your action, if you're not in one of those 3 states, chances are you're breaking some sort of misdemeanor at the minimum. And you really have to be careful with those unregulated card rooms. So look at this. We were in fact up against it. Taking Ace Jack against Ace Queen. That would have sucked. But the casinos that will take your action, Ignition, Poker, America's Card Room, usually they have a lot of different ways for you to get money in. And if you feel like playing and taking the risk, I'm not going to fault you for it. I'd probably be doing the same thing if I wasn't in Vegas. Go ahead and make the raise here. All right, so go Thunder. Sitting here making the check raise. And just gets cold called. Wow. Okay, guys, I think it's time to turn this one in. Maybe just against Go Thunder, I'd be feeling pretty comfortable with the hand, but that cold call. How can pocket sevens be ahead? Okay, J-Bag, saying Caesars bites. Let's talk about why Caesars doesn't bite. Number one, it is right there next to the blackjack pits and the sports book, right there in the open. It's a much better location than when it was way in the corner, and yeah, maybe the air quality was better when it was hidden behind Pure, but now it gets a ton of foot traffic, and that makes those games so much better. What also makes those games better is it actually has a pretty low rake compared to every other card room in Vegas. They cap out at $4. They don't have any sort of promotional drop, so it's a good card room. It's a good card room. It's not like people are blowing in your face. I'm pretty sensitive to smoke, and I can say that it doesn't really bother me any more at Caesars than at Bellagio or Aria. You're pretty much as close to smoke in any of those places. Yeah, boy, Casey, how you doing, man? Great to see you. 11 months. Appreciate the sub support. And Jeff Jim says, not sure why I had a resub. Anyway, go get him, Dutch, and welcome back. Thank you very much, Jeff. Appreciate the warm welcome and the 7 months of sub love. Appreciate that, man. D-Shill, great to see you in the stream. And Jay Ruffer, chilling out in the stream. Great to see you. How you doing, Mr. Ruffer? Always a pleasure to have you here, man. Always a pleasure. Great to see you. I hope that your holidays are going well. I hope that your Christmas is going to go well. Looking forward to the next time you roll through Vegas, Spud, so we can grab that steak. Great to see you. So yeah, I've talked about the legalities of online poker so much that it just bores myself, J-Bags. But I will tell you this, okay? Nobody has ever been arrested, charged, and convicted of playing online poker in the U.S. It just hasn't happened. So, whether it's legal or not, well, it's not. Don't let anybody tell you that it is. Pretty much every state is going to have some sort of state law against playing unregulated poker and operating on unregulated poker. Usually, those laws are misdemeanors, You know, some states you're going to run into felonies. Some states, you know, like Missouri, for example, up until I think for another 3 weeks, had it set up so that playing online poker was a misdemeanor unless you were a professional poker player. If you were a professional gambler, then it was a Class D felony. So they actually made a distinction in Missouri between professionals and amateurs, which I think is kind of, interesting. You know, very few states actually make that distinction, and very few states actually have it as a felony. But Missouri, Class D felony, man, that's some serious stuff right there. Nevada, it's in the law. It's right there. You can't play on an unregulated site. It is illegal. But no one's paying attention. No one's enforcing those laws. You know, I'm definitely not trying to make you feel bad if you're playing online on Ignition or ACR. Do your thing. Do whatever you want. But it is breaking some laws. You know, if you don't believe me, I would encourage you to look at your own state laws. You know, every single state law has some state statutes that you can look up, and there's going to be a chapter, usually a full chapter about gambling, and you can look up for yourself. I've gone down that rabbit hole on more states than I care to count. One of these days, maybe I'll actually do a little YouTube video and go down every single one of the 50 states and show in black and white, here's the statute where it says it's illegal. Every single one I've looked at, I've found that statute. You know, most of them don't really make a distinction between online and live. Most of them are going to say you can't play at an unregulated poker game. And you know, there's not going to, whether you're doing that online in your home or live at some goulash joint. Is that what they call them? Goulash joints? It's not really going to matter. But I don't care, man. I don't really care to talk about it that much more. If you want to bet on it, though, tell me what state you're in. Give me about 10 minutes, and I will gladly put up money up against your money. And we can, if you don't agree with, my findings, we can find, some sort of expert defense attorney in your state, and we can arbitrate that. Adam V, how you doing, man? Good luck tonight on the grind. Ugh, polarize. That's so brutal. $7 rake. Brutal. All right. Getting 3-1 on a 7-6 offsuit. What do you guys think? Let's just dump it. That would have been a pretty good flop. All right, 14 out of 90 here. We're doing pretty good in the. Oh wow, we're chip leader in the 3K guaranteed. That's not so bad. Gosh, Grind to Win, talking about some sort of match play bonus that isn't. WFKS, by the way, thank you very much for the resub. Really appreciate that. Good to see you here in the stream. And Hacka Hans is still waiting for the X-Mall live stream with Dutch commentary. You know what? I think X-Mall is actually going to do some streaming up in 2017. I said right when I started the stream, a couple of you guys probably missed it, that I'm going to be scaling back quite a bit. As far as the stream goes, the numbers just really aren't there to do this full time, and not really seeing the growth to make me think that it's going to be there. So, going to be doing a lot more live grinding and a lot less streaming. That being said, I'm not going to give it up completely because I enjoy it, and there's still, as long as there's still there's still some subs, it makes sense to keep it going, at least a few times a month. But I think Exmo is going to try her hand at it and do some other games. Poker on Twitch is just pretty small. Even the top dogs in the channel, are still pretty capped on how many viewers they can get. Even when you got Jason Mercier playing a $100,000 tournament, or Doug Polk playing a $100,000 tournament, you still are getting capped at like 45,000, 50,000 viewers. It's just that's the top, that's the ceiling, and it's just so much smaller than other games. It's just and it's just not really seeing the growth that I think a lot of people in poker, especially in Twitch poker, were really hoping to see. It's the truth of it. So Ross the Boss explaining this auto mod. J Ruffer. So I guess the auto mod, and if you choose to block it, the regular chat will never see the message. I think that there's like a certain number of seconds that it just kind of stays there. And if it goes through, I think that you have like 6 seconds or something for mods to like catch it. There we go. That's a pretty good hand right there. So Jay Ruffer says, "Have a great night, Dutch. Please give your better half a hug for me." I will, Jay Ruffer. Thanks very much for stopping through. Gonna go and make the raise there. Okay, so getting the call from Broncos. No surprise there. Getting the call from Go Thunder, or Got Hunder. Midnight, throw me a bone. Well, 5-way action with the Ace King of Diamonds. Queen Queen 7 is not the flop we want to see, guys. So I'm not even gonna put another. I'm not even gonna put another bet into this. It's just done. So Turbo Burn, the reason WSOP is the only site in Nevada at the moment is because Nevada is not big enough to support more than one site. There was Ultimate Poker. They were running a competing site with WSOP, but the market just isn't that big. You just never really see more than 100, 120, 150 people on at peak. So it just there's not enough people to support more than one site. It's not a big site. The games don't play that big. The tournaments never really get that big. So Rasa Boss says plan to mostly stream the big Sundays. I don't know. I'm gonna see how the games are on on the strip on Sundays, because if they're pretty good, I might just stream on like weekdays, Mondays and Tuesdays, and then hit the strip up on the weekends. But you know what? I do like those Sunday tournaments quite a bit. So I don't know. I'll try to get some sort of regular schedule or something. JD Cole says, I'm heading to Vegas on Wednesday. Hope to see you playing live or maybe play online with JD Cole. I miss you, buddy. And definitely looking to seeing you here. That's awesome that you're coming through. Definitely grab we'll definitely grab some food while you're in town. You know what? Let's see a flop with Queen Jack offsuit. We'll just play it a little cautiously. That's a pretty good flop for Queen Jack. Let's see if Throw Me a Bone gives us a check. We'll fire out a bet. About 2/3 is what we're looking for. Jean Paul the Great. I've got some of the new book written, but I haven't put any words in a couple of months. We got Kook Hinglian. Cookanglian? Not quite sure how to say it, but hey, thanks for the sub, man. Appreciate that. Ferrari Doctor, good to see you, man. Says, hey, my brothers. Great to see you, buddy. So, Two Poker says, hey, Datch, love you, man. Glad to see you're still streaming. What a nice thing to say. Appreciate that, buddy. Pragmat, just throwing that Twitch Prime sub my way. Thank you very much. And Ferrari Doctor, resubbing 20 months in a row. OG bitches. Yes, thank you very much, man. Really appreciate the resub. Thanks, man. So yeah, Ferrari, I gotta tell you though, I'm gonna be scaling back the streaming in 2017. Scaling back a little bit. So gonna be shooting for maybe 40 or 50 streams next year. But as long as there are still, viewers and subs, I'm still going to be popping my head in a few times a month. Vice Chick, thank you very much for the cheer. Really appreciate that. I like those little cheer bits. Thank you very much, Vice Chick. Jason RVW, not for a while, my friend. It's been a while, but oh my gosh, what are the kids' names who sing that song? They're so cute. Musical Youth. So T Narge talking about online poker in New York. Maybe 2017 is the year. That would be awesome. That'd be really good news. I would love to see it. So big hand for Cabin Fever. Did that get all in pre-flop? Or was that yeah, pre-flop, aces versus kings. So it goes 300, then it goes 500, then it just goes 8,000. Wow. 300 under the gun. Raises to 500 with the kings. Gets cold called. Comes back to Cabin Fever. 8,000. JD, I'll tell you, I trimmed the beard pretty short. It was getting manly. It was getting manly. It's gonna be good to see you when you're in town, though, bud. A2 suited. Making the fold there. All right, Broncos getting in there with the pocket tens, whiffing it. Does he come back? Yeah, he comes back. What? I have a feeling we're going to see a flop here with this 7-4 off. I have a feeling we're going to just smash a flop. Guys, we're going to smash a flop. Here we go. A little sweetener from Mark Ann. Get ready to smash a flop. 5-6-3. 5-6-3 one time. Ah, Sugar Ray, what a spoiler. What a spoiler you are. I guess that's not exactly smashing it. So yeah, boy, Casey. I hope that you do awesome in those events, man. Especially the main. That'd be awesome to see an HPT winner wearing the fist bump patch. That would be really awesome. And definitely wish you the best there. Ah, Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray, why, man? Why? We would have stuck around for a turn for sure. Oh, King 7 suited. All right, we'll just make the call. Thinking about raising. It's not really that good of a hand, you guys. King 7 suited. If some of you guys are saying, why would you even play that? Why would you even play that? Probably not the kind of hand you'd want to, to put in your pre-flop strategy. But implied odds. I'm thinking that if we make the call there on the button, these stacks are really deep at this point, and we can hit a magic flop that's going to double through one of these guys. So for 120, we can we can double through Marcan or Choo Choo. But yeah, I think it's all right to make the fold there too. I mean, certainly no one's gonna be like, "Oh, what are you doing folding that hand? You can't fold King 7 suited." It's probably a fold. You know, one of the big problems with yeah, I didn't know that, Ferrari. I gotta admit, I didn't really catch a lot of the shows, but even so, I'm kind of sorry to hear that it's over. I always kind of thought that you know, it'd be something I'd watch with you know, some kids down the line and say, hey, one of my buddies works on this show. It's kind of sad that that era is gone. JD Cole subbing 21 months. Wow, 21 months in a row. Really appreciate the sub, man. Thank you very much for the support. So Tucker Sultan says, hello, Dutch Mr. Stream. Thank you very much. Glad it's good to be missed. Do you still coach in Vegas via your website? No. Now all the coaching I do is through the wsop School of Poker. So that's a site that was put together by Brian Rast. Has a really good roster of instructors, and I'm honored to be numbered among them. You know, you got Jeff Madsen, Lane Flack, Ryan LaPlante, Brian Rast, Antonio Esfandiari, and a number of other pros. And every once in a while, each of us will be given seminars and hand labs, and you can also sign up for private coaching through that site. I gotta tell you guys, private coaching is a good way to improve your game. It's actually it seems to me like it's a good value. If you're trying to get better at poker, you're not going to really know what you don't know, and to have the opportunity to actually sit down and suck some info out of the brains of some of the best poker players in the game. You know, Brian Rast is top notch. You know, it's kind of like it's kind of like getting guitar lessons from Rockstar or tennis lessons from Andre Agassi. I mean, how much is that worth? You know, I guarantee you, pretty much every other sport, if you were going to try to get some of the best in the world to teach you something about that that sport or that endeavor, it would cost you a lot more than it's going to cost you to get poker lessons. It's pretty cheap, I think Ryan LaPlante charges somewhere around 125 or 150 an hour. I mean, here's a guy who just won a bracelet this summer, who is easily one of the top 300-400 players in the game today. And for about twice as much as a piano lesson for your kid, he's going to teach you what he knows. That's a good value. It's a good value. So check that site out. WSP School of Poker. Bony Fish, subbing 20 months in a row. Really appreciate the resub. He says, missed you guys. Glad you're back. Any other 20 monthers here? So, Bony Fish, we had a few more 20 and 21 month subs this stream. Ferrari Doctor, JD Cole, Bob Hatter. Papist was in for a pretty long one. Vice Chick. Heckahan. Missing a bunch of you guys. X Final Hour just subbed with Twitch Prime. Big shout out to you, X Final Hour. Thank you very much for throwing that Twitch Prime sub my way. Guys, don't forget, if you have Twitch Prime, if you have Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime. It's one of the perks. Amazon Prime is an awesome value. As you know, they had me at free shipping, and now they're giving us just so much more stuff. The Amazon Unlimited for music streaming is great. You got the Amazon Prime Video with some really good episodes and movies. They got Interstellar on there. They've got The Americans, Man in the High Castle, which is an Amazon original. I think Under the Dome is also an Amazon original. There's some great stuff. If you don't have Amazon Prime, I would suggest getting it, and you get Twitch Prime as a free perk. You get a couple of free games every month. You get a free sub to throw anywhere you want to. You get the ad-free experience. Guys, we're going to be right back in 4 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we're back. Let me see. Jeff Jim had kind of a good question. He said, how much can you really get out of just one private lesson from a pro, and how long do they usually last? So, Jeff, this is what I would say to you, man. And I'm saying you're a sub. I feel like, I feel like we're friends. Actually, you've hung out on the stream quite a bit, so I'm not going to, I'm not going to, blow something up, as like something that's going to just transform your game, And honestly, there are so many free sources for information these days that if you look at it, as like, is it worth it? It's kind of hard to say it is. It's kind of hard to say that paying, paying Jeff Madsen $150 or $200 an hour for a 2-hour session is worth it when you can spend that money on an upswing poker subscription or a tournament poker edge subscription. I'd probably, or run it once subscription and watch videos, or even not spend any money and spend, some time watching some, poker clinic videos for free, or Doug Polk's videos on YouTube, or watching some, gosh, I kind of want to see a turn card here with a 9-6. We got the double gut shot. Yeah, let's do it. This is a little sketchy. But I think, I feel like a jack is an out. I also feel like a 7's an out. So let's go ahead and fire out the 3/4 here. So, but on the other hand, if you look at it like, not that great of a river, huh? Now we're behind to Queen 10, Jack 10. And he's firing out the full pot size bet. You know what, Cabin Fever? I think you're going to get us off of a 9 here. It could be a bluff. He could be bluffing. On the other hand, if you look at it like, there's lots of free information for anything. If you want to get better at let's say baseball. You want, let's say that you have a teenage son or daughter who's playing baseball and is a pitcher on their high school team, and they're trying to take it seriously. Well, sure, there's plenty of videos you can watch, to help to help them improve. But what if you could just like get Nolan Ryan to come and personally give your kid pitching lessons? I mean, how much is that worth? I feel like that would be worth a lot, but what would they really get from it that they wouldn't be able to get from just lessons? I don't know. I still remember that Russell Wilson picture where, as like a 15-year-old kid, he was getting the personal attention of who was it? It was the same guy that he later faced off with in the Super Bowl. I'm having a blank. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys remember the picture. He's a 15, 16-year-old kid in a little quarterback camp. And, fast forward, and he's in the Super Bowl. Would that have actually happened if he, if he wasn't there at the camp? Maybe. Could he have gotten the same kind of info from, free YouTube videos? Probably. But there definitely is something about personalized attention, and I gotta tell you, what can you get from it? When I think about like some of the last month I was doing a lot of work with team backs, trying to trying to get him to win that main event. He ended up taking third, which is a pretty good result, right? And spent a lot of hours, about 40 or 50 hours around the table, playing roles during Sims, and listening in as Sean Deeb and Chance Corneth were giving him a lot of advice. And I feel like there were some things that I got from that. Honestly, though, when I think about the best pieces of advice I've gotten from poker, it's always been talking with other high-level pros. I've always been kind of in a spot in my own poker career where I haven't had to actually pay anybody to talk to me about anything, just because I've got a bunch of pro player friends who have bracelets and WPT championships. So it's more of I'm kind of in a different situation than most of the people who would be taking one-on-one lessons with, like, Brian Rast. But is it worth it? I mean, yeah, I think so. How much? What is it going to really change about your game? I don't know. But I do know that most of the people who have gone through the WSOP school of poker and have been taking, like, these one-on-one lessons with some of these pros, they keep on taking them with different pros. They keep on going with, like, 2 hours with Madsen, 2 hours with LaPlante, 2 hours with Rast. And I think that when someone is paying me, for example, to help them out in poker, I really do my best to make sure they're getting some value out of that. But like I said, there's so much free information out there that it's hard to justify. It really is, because it's like, if you're taking lessons, poker lessons, chances are, you're kind of hoping that you're going to be able to have a good ROI on that money. I don't know. It's hard to say, man. It's really hard to say. But this is what I definitely would say. There's a lot of people out there who are billing out, as surgeons or doctors or whatever, businessmen, where they're billing out at $300 or $500 or $1,000 an hour, and if it's worth their time to take the lesson, it's probably worth whatever money they're paying for it. But if you're making your living playing poker, and you're just on the grind, and anytime you have a downswing at 1-3 or 2-5 no limit, you really feel it. Maybe there's better ways to spend the money. And Ross the Boss, Peyton Manning. That sounds right. Huh. I don't know what to do here, guys. We've got the 7. Okay, I'm going to dump it. Dumping top pair weak kicker against a donk lead and a raise from Throw Me a Bone. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger than we used to. Pretty good flop for pocket 4s with the 4 diamonds, right? Fire out half pot into 3 opponents. gosh. Okay, let's see. Let's peel. Hoping for the miracle card. Maybe Midnight is just hoping to get a free card here. If Midnight checks back, then we're going to say our pocket fours is ahead. All right. Where's the pocket fours behind there? Aces Up said, I'd love to see a replay of the hand. Okay, coming right up. Let's see the replay. Where was it? We had the 9-6 offsuit. I'm going to go ahead and show the replay just for you, buddy. Folding the straight, and I'm pretty comfortable with the fold. It's definitely not going to be keeping me up at night. So pre-flop, the action looked like this. We had a limp from One Lady Q1. We had a limp from Midnight. We had a limp from Cabin Fever. And we checked. Midnight fired out a half pot bet. Cabin Fever made the call. And what do we put these guys on? Midnight probably looking at something like a king queen, maybe a spade draw, maybe something like a king 10 or ace 10. Cabin Fever making the call. Jack 10's definitely very high up there in the range. And after all is said and done, when we look at the bet sizing, I think that the most likely hand that Cabin Fever had was actually Jack 10. We make the call here because not only do we have the Jack, we also have the 7. We're thinking that we have double gut shot straight draw. We're looking at 8 outs. Maybe just 6 outs though, because you know a spade might not be an out. We're gonna have to be pretty careful if it comes like a Jack of spades or a 7 of spades. But if our gen card is like a 7 of hearts or a 7 of diamonds, where it's going to be pretty hard for them to put us on a 9-6. We could be drawing dead because somebody could already have a Jack 9, but I go ahead and peel, getting 4-1. The Jack ends up coming, and now I'm thinking that we're looking pretty good. We're behind an ace king. We're chopping if somebody has a 9 as well. Someone could also have king 9 here, I guess, especially if they have spades. Like a king 9 of spades is definitely right there in either one of these players' ranges, I think. So is ace 9 of spades. But we go ahead and fire out 1500. And I think here, if one of these guys has just like a naked 9, we're probably hearing from him. If someone has an ace king, we're probably hearing from him. So they both elect to just call. And then what happens is the board pairs. And now we check with the intention of probably check calling. If Midnight or Cabin Fever fire out like a half pot bet here, they're gonna get the money from us. But Cabin Fever decides to go a little bit heavier, and he fires out a full pot size bet. And generally, when you see somebody fire out a big pot size bet like that, it tends to be a value bet, and it tends to be a big hand. There's so many hands here that beat us now. You've got ace king, you've got pocket queens, you've got pocket jacks, you've got pocket 10s, you've got pocket 8s, you've got queen 10, jack 10, and 10-8. You also have the king 9. All of those hands are going to beat us. And the only thing that we're really beating here from Cabin Fever is a very bad value bet with a hand like king 10 or ace 10. That's really, or a bluff with something like an ace 6 of spades or an ace 5 of spades. And maybe Cabin Fever is bluffing there, but I would submit to you that a lot of times when people are bluffing, in my experience, you're going to see more bluffs somewhere in the range of 3/4 pot, half pot than full pot size bluffs. But maybe he's bluffing. Maybe he just has missed spades here and is taking a shot at winning the pot. That could be. It could be. I don't think so, though. I think that we are probably up against one of the hands that that are beating us, and I elect to make the fold. So I'm never gonna know if Cabin Fever was just bluffing or if he actually got there with a hand like Jack 10. Again, something like Jack 10 or Queen 10 is right in his range. Specifically Jack 10. I think that's exactly the hand he had. And I think that he just got a little greedy here on the river and thought that a lot of hands are going to pay him off. And we didn't. When you think about hands like ace-king, you can't just think, okay, that's one hand that beats me. Queen 10, that's two hands that beat me. Quad 10s, that's three hands that beat me. You really have to think in terms of combinations of hands. There's 16 different combinations of ace-king. You look at Queen 10, and you've got 3 times 2, so 6 different combinations of Queen 10, 6 different combinations of Jack 10, 6 different combinations of 10-8, 6 different combinations of pocket queens, 6 different combinations of pocket jacks, 6 different combinations of pocket 8s, 1 combination of pocket 10s. You add all those up, and you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 36, 37, 47, 53 different hands. That's not counting King 9, right? So we're looking at like 60 something nuts. It's not really 70th nuts. You look at the straight and you're like, how can you fold a straight? Well, because it's the 70th nuts. It doesn't really sound that good, when you say it like that. 70th nuts. I'm going to call with the 70th nuts here. So there it is. We made the fold. Midnight also decided to make the fold. Probably had something like a king queen or a missed flush draw, and Cabin Fever took the big pot. I think that he four-outed us. I think that's what just happened. I think we just got four-outed. Sigh. What's up, Tim Kristoff? Good to see you, man. Okay, so while we were doing that, missed a few hands in the 30. No big deal. Vice chick, I'm glad to hear it. No chopping. No chopping. I'll tell you, when you're playing a tournament, it's so top heavy. And your edge really shines when you're looking at short-handed, heads up, and three-handed, where they don't adjust. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a tournament where the other guy just had such a low percentage chance of winning because he didn't adjust heads up. He played too tight and folded his buttons and didn't defend unless he hit. Didn't adjust. that's, when it gets down to the wire, you're looking at 3 people or 4 people, and everyone's instinct is, oh, let's chop it up. I'm so worried that I'm not going to be walking away with, a fifth of the prize pool here. Let's just chop it up. Anything can happen. This is when your edge really shines. This is when you are getting paid the most to be playing poker. And yeah, sometimes you're going to miss out. Sometimes you're going to be the guy who goes out 4th or 5th. But more often than not, you're going to be the one who takes home the crown. And if somebody else wants to chop, there's a reason they want to chop, because they're feeling uncomfortable, because they know that they're better off chopping than playing it out. And if they're better off chopping, then you're better off not chopping. Think about it. You're the one who's here watching this. You're the one who's actually hanging out on Twitch, trying to improve your game, trying to figure out, little edges in poker, working on, this card game, whether it's a hobby or profession. You're trying to fine tune it and get better. You're doing that all the time. That's why you're here, is because you're improving your game. Well, this dude is not. Think about this. The next time some guy is sitting there who's, want to chop it up, think about how much time he spends on Twitch. Think about how much time he spends watching poker videos and reading poker books and, delving into poker theory with friends and reading forum posts. Think about that. You look at all the time you've put into the game, and you look at all the time they've put into the game, and if it's even, yeah, maybe you chop. Maybe. But most of the time, if someone's asking you to chop, there's a reason for it, and you always want to be the one saying no. Sometimes, though, you can really get a good deal. Sometimes you can say, okay, well, look, I'll agree to a chop, but I'm going to have to take this amount, and you all chop out the rest. Sometimes that works. I'll tell you, there was one of my favorite chop stories. My little brother was in Aruba for one of the UB prelims back in the day, and they were 5-handed, and he had like 55% of the chips, 5-handed, and so they were all like, "Yeah, so let's work out a chop, you guys. We could do a chop, right?" Here he is, 55% of the chips, and this guy has 10%, and this guy has 10%, this guy has 10%, this guy has 12%, and every single one of them seemed to be playing for second. And so he says, well, I would agree to a chop if I get first place, and you guys can chop the rest. He said it with a straight face. Obviously, if you run his situation through any sort of ICM calculator, his equity in that tournament is nowhere near first place. It's close to first place, but is not first place money. They all agreed to it. They all said yes. So he walked away with first place money, and they chopped the rest. How does that even happen? Funny thing is, I told him, you know what? You probably could have held out. You probably could have said, look, I'll take first place money and you all chip in $20. And they probably still would have taken it. So there are going to be some times where you can get a lot more than what your tournament equity is worth. Specifically when there are multiple people left, when there's like 5 people left and you have a chip lead, sometimes you can really rape them. And so I'm not saying never do a deal, but get your phone. There's going to, run a search in the Google Play Store or the iTunes Store for ICM space poker. There's going to be some ICM calculators you can use. Have an idea before they start asking what a fair amount is, assuming equal skill, and add a lot to that number. And always remember this, man. Whenever you're negotiating, whether you're talking about a poker deal or a raise or a job or anything, equity, between a co-founder, whether you're negotiating for what movie you're going to see, whatever it is going to be, you need to fight for yourself. Because if you don't fight for yourself, no one else is going to fight for you. You need to, fight for whatever you can get in those situations, and realize that, those 2 minutes of negotiation is going to be the difference between, let's say, going home with $1,100 or $1,200. That $100 difference for a 2-minute negotiation is about the most you're ever going to get paid in your life, as far as an hourly rate goes. You speak up right then, and those 2 minutes, if those 2 minutes are worth $100, well, you just got paid $3,000 an hour. That's the power of negotiation. Let's pot size this up. These guys don't have anything. Got 1 down. We got 2 down, and how about you throw me a bone? Also making the fold. We increase our stack by about 18%. Malcolm, good to see you in the stream. Timo, good to see you, man. Good for you, Vice Chick. You did the right thing. You did the right thing. Look, there are definitely some times when I'll chop. And those times are when I'm getting an ICM deal that I can't say no to, or when I'm up against somebody that I feel is just as competent of a player as I am. That doesn't happen all that often, but it happens sometimes. It happens sometimes. Where you're a good example. Recently over at the Venetian, one of the Venetian prelims, Ryan LaPlante chopped. It's like, why would you chop, man? He's like, well, I was heads up with Joe Chung. It's like, oh, well, that makes sense. He's a competent player. That is a very good player. So, decent chop. Okay, we're going for 640. And actually, let's go for 3/4 pot here. Hey, Pope Famine, good to see you in the stream. By the way, thanks for the compliment. That was golden, he says. Thank you very much, Pope Famine. Appreciate that. I'm gonna go ahead and make the fold here with a Queen 9 off. Would make the fold there. Well, ace is up 3-1-6. It sounds that actually sounds like a bad policy for the tournament director to have. That's a really bad policy for him to have, because as a tournament director, you want the tournament to be over with. You know, the quicker a tournament is over, the less time you have to pay dealers for downs, and the quicker you can get those players to take their tournament winnings and sit down and cash games. So it's a very bad policy for your local spot to not allow ICM chops. And in fact, tournament directors should be there with apps. If they stop the clock so that players can discuss a deal, I think that the tournament director should actually offer what they offer what some sort of ICM program would suggest is an even chop. He should say, okay, guys, this is what the ICM calculator says. Just as kind of a basis. Because you also don't, as a tournament director, you don't really want to see anybody getting taken advantage of too much. One of the worst things that can happen is for somebody to kind of go along with a chop, get pressured into a chop, and then later feel like they were kind of forced into a very unfavorable deal. So, as a tournament director, you do kind of want to be a little bit protective of the weaker players and make sure that no one gets taken advantage of too much. But on the other hand, it's not really up to you to say, okay, guys, now hold on. You can't give this guy first place money just because he has a chip lead. Maybe maybe you can, though. Maybe you can. If you're a tournament director, maybe you can step in and say, look, guys, this is not a good deal. How can you guys give him the money? I don't know. Making the fold. So Maverick VP, I read your playing a mistakes championship next month. It's like, good luck in your mistakes championship. That's a crazy championship. Mid stakes. Is it mid stakes or mid state? Mid stakes. Let's go for a little raise here against Marcan. And not really what we're looking for. Go ahead and make a raise here. 680. All right, getting the call from Mark Ann and the all-in spew from Choo Choo. All right. One lady Q1 making the call. We make the fold with our 3 high. Where's that 4? Show us the 4. Just for LOLs. And one lady Q1 getting screwed here. Choo Choo. I don't really love the shove there, Choo Choo. It's just a little too much. Pretty big 3-bet shove there. Risking a hell of a lot. I'm going to make it a little bit less since there's no small blind here. Mike Mounts, good to see you too, man. It was, yeah, so I'm pretty sure that was during the main event, right? So I was a little preoccupied, but it was definitely good to see you. Definitely good to meet you, man, and thank you very much for hanging out with us, being part of the crew. I really appreciate it, man. Definitely wish you the best of luck on the felt. Midnight making the call. And C-Bet gets through. Mid-States, that's right. Mid-States Poker Tour. So I'm pretty sure that it used to be the Minnesota Poker Tour. That MSPT started out as the Minnesota Poker Tour, and then it eventually expanded out, and they changed their brand. But I think it was the same acronym when it was Minnesota Poker Tour. Minnesota State Poker Tour, I think. Could be wrong about that, but I think that's true. One of the old crew players, Tony Lazar, took down an MSPT not too long ago. MSPT main. Got himself on the cover of a magazine, which was pretty cool. Ed M, thank you very much for the welcome back, man. Appreciate that. Good to see you in the stream. Okay, guys, we're going to make a little call here. take a little moonshot against Goth Under. Not quite what we're looking for, guys. 7 high. Nowhere to go, no draw, nothing. Just a whole lot of nothing. Wow. And Go Thunder makes the check back. It's so tempting. Okay, we'll make the call here with ace deuce off. We got Choo Choo 1 in the under the gun spot, open limping. We hit the ace. Let's go ahead and fire out a little half pot donk lead just to make sure that Marquand actually gets out. And Choo Choo making the raise against us. Guys, I don't really think that Choo Choo has anything. I just think that he doesn't think that we have anything. And we do actually have something here. So I'm going with it. I'm going with the ace. I fully expect Choo Choo to go ahead and continue with his drive. And if he can beat a pair of aces, we're going to go ahead and switch over to our 30. That's kind of what I thought there, Choo Choo. He could have an 8-9, which would suck. Nope. He had King 10. Wisco Al, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Well, guys, I think it's abandoned ship time. The plan was to go ahead and make the raise and get Choo Choo out of here. Isolate Midnight. But Choo Choo makes the call, and that is a pretty wet board to actually try anything. I guess we could go for it now. Fire out a little half pot bet. We've got some outs, and maybe we can get through. Midnight going for the check raise. All right. So Dogmile, I have heard a little bit about the iNinja mess. So I guess what was going on was iNinja had a number of sponsored pros on their team. iNinja was also from Minnesota. Kind of a smaller tour, but basically kind of doing the same thing, having some sponsored pros and having some tournament stops where they'd organize these tournaments. Usually how that works is they have a revenue split with the host casino, and they do a lot of promotion. Had kind of a brand going where they were also selling merchandise, but that's not really a big money maker for those tours. The money comes from having really big turnouts in the tournaments and getting a big cut of the buy-in. Usually those tournaments are juiced pretty heavy, and what really gets juiced is the satellites. Oh my gosh, because then you're kind of getting double juice. So already pretty much any like small single tables and little satellites that you run into are going to have kind of an exorbitant rake. Somewhere like a 25% rake is not unheard of. And then you're winning a seat that then gets raked again. So it's like, wow. Gosh, I want to call Choo Choo so bad. I mean, here we are with ace queen off. We've seen him make this shove with ace jack, but I mean, Marquand just cold called our 3-bet. So I'm going to make the fold, and I'm going to assume that Choo Choo has something better than ace queen. Either a decent-sized pocket pair or ace king. Wow, Choo Choo. This is what makes poker profitable, you guys. I mean, this is why we can play. It's because we got these guys just donking it off. And it really makes me wonder if maybe that ace queen was the spot. Okay, yeah, so iNinja, I guess, was slow to pay a lot of its pros the agreed upon, however little amount that they were paying them. A couple of them complained, and he issued an apology. I guess that he was, he had maybe signed some sort of deal with Ku Vang, where Ku was getting 10% of the tour for like 40 grand. There was I don't quite know the whole story. I do know that the owner of the tour ended up issuing a public apology for not getting around to paying everybody. I don't know. I guess I don't really have too much input on it, to tell you the truth, Dog Mile. It does sound kind of like a mess. I'm glad that the dude doesn't owe me money. Hope he doesn't owe any of you guys money. All right, let's go for a re-raise here. For a little 2K action. Actually, you know what? Ace-10 offsuit's going to be ahead of these guys. We can go ahead and just smash it in there. I don't know what Choo Choo comes up with. Pocket nines. We're in pretty good shape. So we get the double up. We win the flip. You know, I was thinking about just making a normal raise, and then I thought, you know what? There's 2K in here and we got 10K. So if we pick this up, we're increasing our stack by 20%. Let's just go ahead and do it. We got the best hand. Ross the Boss 85. I think for the 100-ish range, I would probably go for... The Orleans has a pretty good Friday night tournament for around that range. And then the Aria Nightlies are also pretty good. That is, those are the two tournaments that I would probably stick my toe in if I were in your spot. The best value, the best weekly value is probably the Win $200 tournament. That's the one that has the smallest rake. And then every month, the Golden Nugget has a really good weekend tournament that's just off the hook, man. It's really good. Gets a ton of people, and they have a big guarantee. But just for like a daily, like a nightly tournament, I would probably... be hitting up Aria. Unless it's a Friday. If it's a Friday, I would be hitting up the Orleans. Let's go for a little 3x here against Dobie 88. He makes the call. How about Goth und Air? What does he do? He makes the call as well. Now we got kind of a weird spot here. Pretty big pot. Chances of being ahead are pretty slim. We got some outs, so let's just make the check. We'll take the free card. This isn't quite shaping up how I had hoped. And that's not our gin card, so... Took all 5 cards and checking back. Pocket 7s, you win. Pocket 8s wins. So yeah, maybe we could have just taken it with a... no, we wouldn't have been able to get through. Well, I don't know, actually. So looking at it, maybe we should have just fired out the C-bet. It just looked like not a good board to do it with. It looked like super wet, and it felt like we were behind. We actually were behind on the flop. So maybe it's okay to just give up. Maybe it's okay to just give up when you figure that you are behind and you're going to get called, which ended up being the case. It actually looked like Go Thunder he had ace-10 of hearts, so he probably was going to go for a little check raise, and we wouldn't have even gotten the free turn. We had more outs than I had counted to, but we would have lost Dobie, who had the pocket eights. So if we would have fired out a C bet, probably would have lost Dobie, and Go Thunder would have been making the check raise, and probably would have won it with his ace-10. But if he decided to just kind of play it cautiously and just checked the turn when the 9 hit, and then just gave up on the river when a 6 hits, then our ace-king would have taken it down. That's pretty much the only scenario where I could see actually winning that hand. Most of the time, if we c-bet, I think Go Thunder ends up winning. Guys, we're going to be right back in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere. Not only do we have this tournament going, 38 out of 66, but we are also third out of 73 in the 3K guaranteed. So lots of poker action left tonight, and you guys are awesome. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back. Back with the suited Jack. And I'll make the fold. So Ross the Boss, I don't really know what the Christmas Eve and Christmas action is going to look like. Let me tell you something though, Ross. I can't really think of too many more depressing places to be on Christmas than a card room. Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, man, it's still just like I've done it before. I've actually there was 1 year where my Christmas plans fell through, and I didn't have anywhere to be, and I was just going to be alone at home, and I decided, you know what, I'll just go play some cards. And that place was miserable. Miserable. Never again. You're better off just staying at home, watching reruns of watching Frank Capra movies, man. It is depressing. It is a depressing place to be on a Christmas. So yeah, I wouldn't suggest it. New Year's Eve, on the other hand, the poker rooms will be hopping. There will be plenty of tourist money on the strip for New Year's. All right, we'll go ahead and make a little defense here with King 10. Pretty good flop for King 10, Mark-Ann. Yeah. I think I'm just going to go ahead and make the check call here. Ugh. Making it pretty heavy, buddy. Can we get a cheap card? Check back, Mark-Ann. Check back, Mark-Ann. This hand. You know what? I think we got the best of it here. So, Poker Pete 555, I think that's probably right. I think that most of the players who are making more than 50 an hour at 2.5 no limit are probably moving up pretty quickly to 5.10 no limit, 10.25 no limit, and the 25.50 no limit games. I think you're right. That sounds about right. It definitely sounds about right at like the 1, 2, and 1, 3 no limit games. So the other thing too, Poker Pete, about those higher limits is that the rake takes, it plays a much smaller role. So it's kind of weird. You've got this weird, this weird dynamic where a 1-3 no limit game can only really support maybe 2 winners. A 2-5 no limit game maybe can support 3 winners, but a 25-50 no limit game can probably support 5 or 6 winners. So because you don't have that rake effect anymore. The time that you're paying, or the rake that you're paying, is going to be the same whether you're playing 25-50 no limit, or 2-5 no limit, or 1-2 no limit. So once you get at higher limits, the majority of players at the high limit tables can actually be earning an expectation, can actually be pooling a positive EV. It doesn't mean that those games are easier to beat, because I'm not saying that at all. The lower limit games are much easier to beat, but a higher percentage of the players at any given game can be beating higher limit games because of the lower effect of the rake. Big Lebowski, good to see you, man. He says, "Hey, bro, happy holidays. Thank you very much for the 20 months in a row resub. Really appreciate that, man. Happy holidays to you too. I hope that December's going well for you. Always a pleasure to see you, Lebowski." Take a look at what we're looking at. 15 places paying this thing. We're 49 out of 63. First place is a little under $1,000. And then in the 3K, first place is a little under $2,000. Not a bad payday. Actually pulled some pretty good numbers for this $30 rebuy and add-on. We're gonna go ahead and make the fold there. We just cracked aces in that $30 tournament. You guys want to see how? I'll pull up the hand history. Oh, you know what? They moved our table, so we can't. 8-3 offsuit. Defending in the big blind is how. The guy made a min raise from under the gun. We defended with any 2, and the flop came out queen 8-8. We checked. He checked back. The turn came a 5 with 2 hearts out. We fired out 2/3 pot. He called. The river came a 7, no heart. We fired out 2/3 pot. He shoved and we called. Anyone make the fold there? midnight. I'm deciding to go a little tilty on Choo Choo. Like, somebody bust this MFer. Keep-o shoving donkey. Oh, man. I feel your pain. Let's go and make it 1200 here at the 255. Yeah, I don't know, Mary Jane. Mercier is a great player, but he gets way more credit than he deserves. Really? His World Series this year was amazing, and I was watching some of those final tables. He just didn't make mistakes, man. I mean, he was incredible. All right, so let's fire out, I guess, half pot here. It's a pretty good flop. We're not going anywhere. If Marquand decides to raise, we're going to keep on going. Yeah, I don't know what to do now. I kind of wish maybe I just shoved on the flop. Because now we're sitting here with this stupid spot getting getting 2.5 to 1, about 3.5 to 1. 12 outs. We could be ahead too, I guess. Yeah, let's make the call. That's our gin card, I think. Well, we slid through that, you guys. We slid through that. So we're looking pretty good, guys. We're chip leading this 3K guaranteed, and 18 out of 59 here after sliding through that dicey spot with Marquand. Putting up the defense against Dobie 88 with pretty much any two when he's making it 1200. Alright, got a pretty good hand here. Ace Queen off. AOW Moab Slayer. Dutch buddy, how you been doing? Doing pretty good, man. It's been a good few weeks. Life is good. No complaints. Okay, so we have Midnight making a 1650 raise. Huh. You know what? We're going to go ahead and do this. We're going to go ahead and make the 3-bet here. If not with Ace Queen off, then with what? I mean, Ace Queen should definitely be in our range. Yikes. Well, let's follow it up. Oh, we faded the snap. And he gets out of the way. That's good. I think there was a pretty decent chance we were up against like 8s or 9s. Hey, Lebowski, good luck on the pregnancy, man. I hope that I hope that it's everything that you're hoping it's going to be. Having a kid scares the hell out of me. Is it your first one, Lebowski? Let me just ask you here in chat. So it is your first one, man. Good luck. Good luck. It sounds like you're gonna be missing out on a lot of free time. I don't know a lot of people who have kids who aren't happy that they had them. You know, who definitely is one of those things that it's pretty much the most grown-up thing you can do, right? Definitely wish you the best of luck with it, man. Midnight making the open limp. All right. Raise your hand if you don't think Durr is overrated. I don't think he's overrated. I think that I think he's a walking legend. He's amazing. You know, he comes up with lines that I don't think anybody would come up with when they're right. You know, that's the key. Plenty of people will come up with these stupid lines that don't work, but Durr's lines work. You know, he sees through the matrix, man. And I very much hope that Durr is just crushing it, making more money than anybody's ever made in poker out in Macau. Just taking that triad money. Just take that triad money. Zach Delesh, nice job, man. He says, good to see you back on Twitch. I just booked a decent win at my local 1-2 game. So, Sticky Slug, the rumors I've heard were Durr played a $20 million pot. $20 million in the middle. Those are the rumors. The biggest pot that anybody's ever seen in poker, and Durr lost it. So, if he's losing a $20 million pot, I'm hoping that he's won at least 5 of those. I like to think that there's somebody out there who's actually made 9 figures playing poker, and it's Durr. Because I don't think anyone else is really close, but he might be. He could be. He's actually doing what Dan Bilzerian's claiming. Paca Moretti, good to see you. Says glad to have you back. Did you take some time off of poker? No, I was playing a lot over at the Venetian Deep Stack and the Bellagio main event. Just took some time off of streaming, and honestly, Paco, I mentioned this at the start of the stream. Definitely been kind of doing some self-examination and reflecting, and going to be pulling back the hours that I put into Twitch in this next year. Going to be doing a lot less streaming. Anytime anybody subscribes to the stream, and I always say, "Oh, thank you so much. Wouldn't be here without you. You make the stream possible." It's true. It's more true than it's like literally true. And it turns out that the number of subs that we have right now on the stream, that I have right now on the stream, and am kind of on par to get, just aren't really where I need them to be to do Twitch full time. So going to be streaming a lot less in 2017. Probably only going to be putting in about 2 or 3 streams a month, because there's a huge opportunity cost. Every time we do a stream, we could be making money on the strip. So it's going to be more a labor of love than a full-time gig. I think I've kind of got to the point where ready to throw in the towel as far as trying to do it full-time. Just not seeing the growth and not seeing the numbers that I really need to have to make it full-time as a Twitch streamer. But we'll still be streaming a little bit. Not going to give it up. Enjoy it. Enjoy hanging out with you guys. And guys, one thing I would say too, and I'll just repeat this again. Even though I'm going to be doing a lot less streaming, there are going to be plenty of other streamers on Twitch who are trying to make a go at it, streaming poker. And I just can't stress this enough. If you guys are enjoying streams, from some of these other streamers who are putting in the time, and you want to see them continue to do it, then support the stream. Support the stream. Click on the sub button, because if you don't, they're eventually going to burn out and fade and disappear and do something else, play poker, or get a real job. So if you're getting something out of these streamers, I was watching a bunch of them this week, and I try to do my part to support streamers that I enjoy watching. Got a few active subs right now. I'd really encourage you to do the same, because if you don't, we're going to lose a lot of streamers. Poker's different than other games, because in order to play and stream poker successfully, you actually have to be a winning player. So right off the bat, that drives away a lot of the players who are on Twitch. A good chunk of them, we'll say 70%. Of players who set out to stream poker aren't able to do it successfully because they can't beat the game when they're completely focused. But when you're actually streaming, you're also taking attention away from the game, so your equity goes down. And then you always have to compare what you're making, streaming online, to what you would be able to do if you weren't streaming, and just like multi-tabling more tables, or if you were just playing live. We lost Butters that way. We lost Paul DeWald that way. These guys were offering so much value to Twitch, but in the end, they looked at the bottom line and said, look, we're not making the kind of money that we need to be making to do this full time and to keep us from just grinding away on the strip. So there goes Butters. There goes Paul. There goes me. So I would really encourage you to support other streamers who are putting in long hours on Twitch if you want to see them continue. Because otherwise, I'll tell you, the advertising revenue is nothing. It really is. I mean, you just can't make money through these advertising, running commercials. That's why Somerville doesn't even do it, because it's such a small drop in the bucket compared to sub revenue, and in his case, sponsorship revenue. You got other guys like Staples, who has a Stars deal. You got Doug Polk, for example, who has his Upswing Poker deal that he's trying to send people to. I'm never going to get a Stars deal, you guys. And I don't really have anything that I'm trying to sell you guys as far as like, an education site. So for me, it was always like, we'll see if the subs eventually grow. And I kind of thought that the Twitch subs would kind of look like a Pokograph would, just, up and to the right, up and to the right. So it's going to be every month would have more and more subs. It turns out that that's not really how Twitch works. Instead, you have kind of a meteoric growth, and then it kind of starts tapering off, and then actually starts getting a little bit lower. Right now, sub count wise, I'm much lower than where I was at my height. Like much lower. And most of that, I think, is just because I kind of reached the cap. So, going to be streaming a lot less, but we'll still be coming in. And as long as there are a few subs, we'll keep on streaming. Yeah. Did Choo-Choo just crack those aces with Ace King? Did that really just happen? I was going into my little monologue about supporting Twitch streamers, and Choo-Choo just puts the hurt on aces with his Ace King offsuit, going runner. That's pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. Okay, let's go ahead and make the raise here. So Choo Choo making the call. I would love for everybody to get out of the way and for something good to flop. Yeah, I'm just done with this. Got a little 3-bet from the small blind. So this is kind of a shitty spot to make the call, just because we're so often completely dominated. I'm going to make the fold here. I'd rather have a hand like 7-8. You know, if I had a hand like 7-8 or 9-10, probably would be making the call there in position against the 3-better. So we got the big spewer making the raise. Let's do it. Let's see if he calls with his ace jack. King 10, he calls. Can we dodge? We're dodging, boys. We're dodging. We dodged. Ace high is good enough. We just doubled through the donk. That's what we're trying to do. Making the fold. Scorpio, thanks very much for the sub, man. Really appreciate that. And yeah, let's go ahead and make the open here against Choo Choo. Wow, Ollie Andrew, how did you get so much in front of you, Ollie? Guess we missed it. He sat down with that much. By the way, guys, there's a new site I've been kind of playing around on called typeracer.com. After the stream, we might have to do it. A couple of you guys were saying you're pretty fast on the keyboard, right? I'm pretty quick on the keyboard myself. My best race so far on typeracer.com, 128 words a minute. It's like, whoa, that's pretty fast. That's pretty fast. But pretty much always averaging over 100 words a minute. Check it out, typeracer.com. It's awesome. Okay, guys, so we're 9 out of 51 in this 3K. And 14 out of 43 in the 2K, so looking pretty good. Choo Choo's still just blazing ahead. Yeah, I'll tell you guys, I hear a lot of people say that whole thing about, oh, well, the main thing that you have to do to be successful on Twitch is be consistent. Consistency. Well, let me tell you, that's a lie. It's a lie. You look at the most consistent guys on Twitch, look at Jay Longo, for example. Here's a guy who was on every single night for like a year. His numbers didn't really go up that much. They pretty much petered out. This is what you're going to see. Every streamer is going to have this arc where it seems like he's just growing exponentially. It's just like huge growths. And those growths are going to taper out because there is a ceiling to how many people are on Twitch, and there's a ceiling to how many people are on each channel in Twitch. So you're basically competing with all these viewers, and that ceiling is pretty low. I wish it weren't so. I wish that the ceiling were a lot higher, and I wish that the potential was there to make millions of dollars streaming poker, but it's just not. It's just not. And anybody who says, "Oh, you shouldn't be," the secret is just streaming consistently, they don't really know what they're talking about. They just don't. And anybody who's like, "Oh, well, you shouldn't be streaming for the money." Well, I guess you stream for the love of the stream, but I mean, if you're going to try to do it full time, you have to be making money, So that's pretty much just advice that people will give you who aren't making money streaming. I actually talked to Doug Polk about it, and you know what he said? He said focus on YouTube. YouTube is a much, much bigger market than Twitch, and I tend to agree with him. The truth is, you guys know me. I'm not getting any PokerStars deals. I'm not, that's not happening. That's never going to happen. So, if I'm going to try to actually do full-time streaming, the money has to come from either advertising or subs. It's not coming from advertising, and the sub revenue just isn't there. So, yeah, I mean, you guys can disagree, but just remember who you're disagreeing with. I mean, I put in 100 and something streams this year. I put in just as much last year. I've had months go by where I would stream every single day. There aren't a lot of people who are as qualified as I am to talk about streaming on Twitch, especially streaming poker. You're talking about maybe 6 or 7 people who have put in as many streams as I have in the poker channel. You know, maybe 10 people. So, you know, you take it for what it's worth, man. So in 13 minutes, we're gonna go on break, and I'm gonna do a type racer challenge. That will be what we're doing on break. Type racer on break. And look at this, pocket kings. You gotta love it. This is gonna be so sweet if Choo Choo wakes up with a hand like pocket nines. Come on, Choo Choo, just wake up with a huge hand here. Choo choo spew. That's right, Maverick. Pretty good. Pretty good. So we pick up a nice little pot there. So Big Lebowski. I don't remember Mario teaches typing. I just remember Mavis Bacon. Was that her name? Mavis Bacon. Mavis Bacon teaches typing. Mavis Bacon teaches typing. That's all I remember. Okay, guys, so if you go to typeracer.com, I think that you can add me as a friend. I'm going to go ahead and sign in here. I believe, race your friends. So this is going to be, this is what we're going to be playing here on break. So here's what I think, Vice Chick. Vice Chick asks, do you think Twitch lets way too many random folks stream? They may have needed to be more selective, or since they make money with it, they don't care. I think Twitch is right to let as many people stream as they want. What's kind of interesting about Twitch, though, is they're pretty selfish with the sub button. They really hold out on the partnership. So there's a lot of people out there who probably deserve a Twitch partnership, and it takes a long time for them to get it. You know, and Twitch sets these high standards, saying you need to have, several hundred consistent, viewers all the time to get a sub button. And I think that is actually just a game that Twitch plays with broadcasters, because it's kind of like a carrot that they're dangling in front of streamers, right? You keep on streaming and keep your stream growing. Eventually, we're going to give you this button that you're going to actually be able to make a living streaming, and it's kind of it's kind of a plastic carrot. Is the truth of it. It turns out that a lot of people have gotten the sub button, realized that they weren't really making money, and gave up. Like Paul Dewald is a perfect example of that. He was streaming a lot, finally got the sub button, thought it was going to be worth his time, and then was like, oh, well, this isn't really working. A lot of people also turned to other ways, like Patreon. I saw a couple of the poker streamers using Patreon, which seemed kind of like a good idea. You know, use Patreon. I think that sounds like maybe that would be better than subs, because then you could kind of have these goals that are a little bit more transparent. Have 50 people, as a Patreon, and that means that you stream X amount of times a month or something. I don't know. But I also think that it's kind of interesting because Twitch, part of the things, in the contract is you can't talk about how much you make. So that is kind of interesting too, right? That's kind of like your boss saying, "Don't tell anybody what you're getting paid," just because there's this, this information gap between streamers and partners and partners and the people behind Twitch. It's very interesting. Okay, 7 minutes until the type raise. I got to. I'm going to take a quick break before we do the type racer, but it's going to happen. A couple people are doing the type racing right now. Set up an account, man. Set up an account so we know who it is. Six minutes until the big race, you guys. Six minutes until the big race. Looks like one of you guys are speedy. 72 words a minute. That's pretty good. Is that fast? Yeah, that's pretty fast. Is that fast? That seemed fast to me. Is that fast? Yeah, that's fast. 3 minutes till the big race, you guys. Make sure to sign up. I'm going to give you the link again. Oh my gosh, someone's in the race doing 92 words a minute. Who could it be? I don't know, because they didn't actually sign up for an account. So we don't know who it is. We don't know who it is. You have to sign up so that you can have your name. You know, make it your Twitch name, or make it some sort of identifying name, so you can be, that's me. That's me. Fifth, 14 out of 36 and 13 out of 43 in the 10 and the 30, you guys. We're looking pretty good. We got Ross and Tony in the big race. Here we go, boys. Here we go. It says the race is on. We're almost at a break. Maybe I can get in on this race. Going to invite you to the racetrack one more time. Okay, we're on a break. So here we go. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and try to take this one from LVD. Nope. Okay, guys. Here we go. I'm going to pop this on. Here it goes. Type racer for shits and giggles. Hold your breath. Join the race. What do we get? 28 words a minute. That wasn't right. It wasn't right. It was because we started 4 minutes in. "14 seconds, 13, 12. Here we go. It's not 28 words a minute, you guys. They're wrong. Here we go. Very white because the glare. Don't worry about it. And new race in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Join race. Join race. There we go. Today. 7, 6, 5. Here we go, boys. What are we doing wrong here, Craft? Men's workshop and placed. And 91 words. Someone was pretty close. Someone was pretty close. We had a guess at 89 words a minute. 91 is not too good. Oh, that was from Civilization 4. That's pretty fun. Look at some of these mad typers. Sean Rona, 205 words a minute with that passage. 181 with FIDA. That's crazy. Crazy. My absolute best time is, let's see, if I... Average speed is 95 words a minute. Best race was 125 words a minute. How much more time do we have on this? 39 seconds. Okay, we'll play that again another time. 91 is a pretty low benchmark. Be right back, guys. Okay, we're back. Okay, making the fold there. Just gonna make the call here. ZSDF Unreal, that's good advice. You can't late reg a typing race. You can't late reg a typing race? It's true. I didn't know, but it's true.
You late reg to typing race?
I thought that I'd be able to do it. I thought that it would just like count my words from when like I first started typing the word. Instead of it, like it didn't do that. You know what messed me up, you guys? Was craftsman's. Craftsman's. I kept on trying to type craftsman. Craftman's. I didn't see the other S. Craftsman's. It's not how I type that. So yeah, by the way, someone was asking in chat, RT Kabuto, saying, but see, some of those tests are not that great because they're all the same paragraph over and over again, so then that becomes muscle memory. But some are good because they change all the time. You're probably right that, you know, the guy who did the 200, he probably redid and redid and redid that paragraph. Because he had like 6 or 7 of the top. But the way that the races work on typeracer.com is you get in the queue, and then it gives you a new paragraph. I've never typed the same paragraph over in any of the races. Money Miser, good to see you, man. Always a pleasure to see you, Mike. Hope that you're doing well. Adobe, what are you doing, man? It's a pretty big spew. It worked for him, though. He's like, I bet 28,000 that you're not going to call. And he's right. He was right. Seemed like too much to shove, though. We're right in the middle of the pack now with 16 out of 33. I wish we were back at our other table with Choo Choo. Choo Choo now has 143,000. He was a fun player. Let me go ahead and make that fold. And we get the big pocket kings, guys. Pocket kings, looking pretty good. Get a raise from Original Man. And yeah, let's go ahead and make the raise here. Definitely had a queen 9. And he's drawn dead. So up to 67,000. Legal action. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it. I'll be keeping it for a little while. It was a lot longer. I kind of trimmed it. And I'm kind of liking it a little bit shorter. gonna make the fold here with the 10-3 off. Yeah, I think that you're right, Well Dog. I think nationwide player pools are a long way off. A long way off. Might not ever happen. It actually might be something that never happens. I hate to say that, but it's true. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make the call here. I've got some notes on rare steak. Okay, I'm going to give him credit for an ace here. Have a good night, Vice Chick. Maverick, something tells me that we're going to see Choo Choo later on in this tournament. We're 9 out of 27. He is 2 out of 27. If we make the final table, I think Choo Choo's going to be there. I think he's going to be there wearing a big bow. C-Mac, Huckseed is definitely in a class by himself. He's every bit as cool as he comes off, as on television. He definitely is one of those OG poker players. It's kind of a hero to anybody who came up in the game around the time I did, and easily one of the best players I've ever played with. He has a table presence that's right up there with just legends. You know, I as far as commanding respect at the table, he especially in any sort of stud game. Oh my gosh, he's amazing. He's really amazing. I don't know why he hasn't had the kind of success that I think that he deserves in the last 10 years or so. If you look, I don't think that he's won a bracelet since 2004, which surprises everybody, including him. The last time I was hanging out with Huck was at Johnny Monette's wedding. I think that was in August. It was up in Portland, and yeah, he's awesome. He's definitely a class act. Super smart guy, and one of those guys that I think could have been the best at anything. You know, poker gets a lot of those guys. And yeah, let's go for that.